Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your noon news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now, we've got news out of Kinston that Congressman Don Davis, during the government shutdown, is going to be visiting a health center in Kinston. He will visit the Kinston Community Health Center this morning, where he'll update staff on the ongoing federal government shutdown. Now, he will also talk about extending the Community Health Center fund and other health care related matters during his visit. Davis sent a letter calling on House leadership to include a full extension of the Community Health Center fund in any agreement to reopen the government. His letter, addressed to Speaker Mike Johnson and Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, emphasizes the critical roles such as facilities play, especially in rural and economically distressed communities. Davis was in Goldsboro last week, where he discussed the government shutdown and his hope for a resolution. Now, the federal government shut down at midnight on October 1st after lawmakers failed to pass new funding bills. And now we will turn our attention to the federal government, as President Donald Trump is going to be speaking with not only President Vladimir Putin, but also he's going to be visiting today with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky about the ongoing war in Ukraine. NBC's Peter Alexander has more from Washington.
President Trump this morning preparing for another high-stakes summit with Vladimir Putin. The announcement coming after what the president says was a productive 2-hour call on Thursday with Russia's president, as President Trump tries to broker a deal to end Russia's 3-year-old war in Ukraine.
We want to get peace. We want to stop the killing.
The call setting the table for Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's White House visit today. Today, Ukraine's president is expected to urge President Trump to allow the transfer of long-range Tomahawk missiles to Ukraine. But President Trump remains non-committal.
They're very accurate, they're very good, but we need them too. So I don't know what we can do about that.
Putin fiercely opposes any possible transfer, which a top Russian aide warned would significantly damage U.S.-Russian relations. The upcoming meeting comes more than 2 months after President Trump welcomed Putin to Alaska, a summit that produced no major progress and fueled President Trump's public frustration with Putin.
I'm very disappointed because Vladimir and I had a very good relationship, probably still do.
In the weeks since, Russia has only increased its strikes against Ukraine. The president hoping to use his personal relationship with Putin to end the war there, while he ramps up pressure in another region of his foreign policy.
We have a lot of drugs coming in from Venezuela.
Overnight, NBC News confirms that the military carried out another strike against an alleged Venezuelan drug boat. But for the first time, there were survivors, according to a U.S. official. It's the latest of multiple strikes in international waters aimed, the president says, at stopping the drug trade from Venezuela. But it comes as the head of U.S. Southern Command, which oversees the strikes, unexpectedly announced he would retire yesterday without giving any reason. The strikes have drawn criticism from lawmakers. But President Trump has doubled down, revealing there's been covert CIA action within Venezuela, and even implying the U.S. military could get involved on the ground.
We are certainly looking at land now because we've got the sea very well under control.
And again, that was Peter Alexander reporting. We now turn to your weather forecast, and it is beautiful blue out there as far as sky conditions go across eastern North Carolina. This is a view through our News River Cam in New Bern. Now, the one issue that's keeping our air temperatures from rising today is that winds continue to blow in at a fairly healthy rate. Right now, 17-mile-an-hour sustained wind in New Bern. Currently 62 degrees. Now, yeah, the sunshine wants to warm us up, but with that northerly wind, it's going to have a very tough time actually making a whole lot of progress. Today's highs likely getting in the mid, possibly the upper 60s, anywhere between around 65 to about 68 degrees is where I think most of us will end up. A little bit cooler possible along the coast, but coastal communities did get a head start. Right now, most of us in the low to mid 60s. We do still have the upper 50s being reported through Roanoke Rapids, Ahoskie, Plymouth, and Manio. Rest of eastern North Carolina at 60 degrees or warmer. But when compared to where we were yesterday, everybody is about 2 to 4 degrees cooler. So as we head into the afternoon, yeah, lots of sunshine, but winds right now are continuing to push cooler air over the region. So as the sun heats up the air over us, we just replace that warming air with cooling air, and we kind of just stay treading water. Not really a whole lot of heat gain coming up over the next few hours, but I do anticipate we should see the mid-60s as we head towards 2, 3, and 4 p.m., even 5 p.m. Today. But northwesterly winds will hold, and again, around a 6 to 12 mile per hour breeze for inland areas. As you get closer to the water, anticipate those wind speeds getting anywhere between around 10 to generally 15 miles an hour, but there will be some that push about 20 mile an hour sustained winds out of the north. Now, all of those winds again will relax later on this evening, leaving us with again a chilly forecast for those of you heading out for some high school football this evening. Make sure you bundle up and are ready for the chill, especially as that second half rolls around. It is going to be cool out there. It may surprise some, especially if you didn't go to the Pirate game last night and aren't really accustomed to the new chill that is here this season. Coming up for tomorrow morning, mid-40s, 7, 8 a.m., warming up to the low 50s by 9. Getting close to the low 60s by 10. We'll be in the upper 60s by noon, though. It's the mid-70s where we will end up tomorrow afternoon. Going to feel very nice, lots of sunshine, and more importantly, we're going to be shifting our winds. Winds coming out of the southwest will really allow our air temperatures to get above the 70-degree mark, pushing around 75, 76 degrees between 3 and 4 p.m. It's going to be a great day to get outside and enjoy the nice sunny weather, because on Sunday, while we will start out sunny and dry, we will eventually see some cloud cover and some rain showers roll in. Now, I think most of eastern North Carolina likely going to end up seeing about a quarter to maybe half an inch of rain Sunday evening into Sunday night, even extending into Monday. But the whole system, again, looking pretty messy as it moves towards eastern North Carolina. There you can kind of see two fronts back to back. That really limits the strength each of those fronts will have as they move over eastern North Carolina. It kind of stretches out the impact of that front over a greater distance, reducing our risk of severe weather, also reducing the intensity of any of the rain showers that do develop. Now, again, we are going to be tracking a few raindrops across the east, but certainly not going to be widespread. It will be very broken and isolated. There could be some areas that actually miss out on the rain altogether, but those who receive rain aren't going to be looking at game-changing amounts. We're looking, again, quarter to maybe half an inch. I think most of us are going to be closer to a quarter of an inch of rain by the end of, really, by Monday morning, then closer to half an inch. But let's talk about the tropics. We've got an area of low pressure that was actually the cause of our weekend cold front this past Sunday. That same system has kind of been swirling out in the Atlantic, and the National Hurricane Center have picked up on it, now giving it about a 10% chance of tropical development over the next 7 days. But because of this system's direction, it is close to eastern North Carolina, but it's not one we are going to have to worry about, as it's going to continue to work its way eastward out into the Atlantic, so not going to be turning around and coming back towards us. Here is a system, though, that is not going to be moving towards us, but moving into the Caribbean. It's one that deserves our attention, as over the next 7 days, it has a 30% chance of tropical development. Right now, the thunderstorms around that X you're seeing there down at the bottom of your screen, that is the zone that the National Hurricane Center is currently tracking, but they're not anticipating that zone to become a tropical system until it reaches that big yellow blob across the Caribbean Sea. That's when it enters that zone where conditions are more favorable for tropical development. Here's a look at your full 8-day forecast. Again, nothing tropical here. We are looking at cooling temperatures over the next 8 days, kind of bouncing around the upper 60s to upper 70s as we head through today, tomorrow, and Sunday. But the roller coaster continues into next week. 71 on Monday, 75 Tuesday, and then we're sitting right around the 70-degree mark for your Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. Next Friday, we will also have another cold front roll through, giving us a chance of rain Friday night into Saturday. Those rain chances right now look minimal, but we could see those increase as we get closer to the following weekend. Well, that's all we have time for today's noon news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather right here on the First Alert Desk at the top of the hour. Until then, have a wonderful Friday.